The email came at 9:12 a.m. James stared at the screen. Subject line: immediate termination notice. His hands froze over the keyboard. He blinked once, twice, then slowly. He opened it. Due to your repeated violation of company protocol. His chest tightened. You are hereby dismissed effective immediately. 3 months earlier, everything was different. James had a stable life, a quiet one. He worked as a senior analyst in a well-known logistics firm. Not flashy, not exciting, but stable, predictable, safe. And James liked safe. Every morning, he woke up at exactly 6 a.m., brewed his coffee, ironed his shirt, and left his small apartment by 7:15. No drama, no surprises, until that Monday. It started with a scream. Not loud, not chaotic, just sharp enough to cut through the morning noise. James turned. Across the street, near a broken-down bus stop, a young woman stood frozen. Her handbag lay open on the ground. A man, thin, desperate, had just snatched her phone and run. People watched. Nobody moved, except James. He didn't think, didn't weigh consequences. He just ran. His polished office shoes slammed against the pavement as he chased the thief through side streets, dodging vendors and taxis. "Stop!" he shouted. The man looked back once, then sped up. But James didn't stop, didn't slow, because something about the girl's face, that helpless shock, it stayed with him. 10 minutes later, the thief tripped. Hard. James was on him in seconds. They struggled, shouted, fought, until finally, the phone dropped, and the man fled. James stood there, breathing heavily, sweat soaking his shirt. He picked up the phone, looked at it, then slowly walked back. She was still there, standing exactly where he left her, like she hadn't moved, like the world had paused. When he handed her the phone, her fingers trembled. You went after him?" James shrugged. Seemed like the right thing. She stared at him, not smiling, not crying, just studying him. "People don't do that," she whispered. James gave a small, awkward smile. Maybe they should. Her name was Olivia. She had just moved to the city, no family nearby, no connections, just a job interview she was already late for. James checked his watch. 7:52 a.m. He was late too, very late. "Where's your interview?" he asked. She hesitated, then named the building. James blinked. "That's my office." That was the beginning. He got her inside, spoke to security, pulled a few strings, got her rescheduled, and just like that, their paths crossed again, and again, and again. Olivia got the job, junior assistant, small role, but she worked like her life depended on it, stayed late, came early, never complained, never asked for help, except once. It was raining that evening, heavy, relentless. James was packing up when he saw her still at her desk, head down, hands shaking. "Hey," he said softly, "you okay?" She didn't answer, just stared at the screen. Then he saw it. The numbers. The mistake. A major financial discrepancy in a report she was responsible for. The kind that could cost the company millions. The kind that ends careers. "I didn't do this," she whispered. "I checked everything. I swear I did." Her voice cracked. "They're going to fire me." James looked at the clock. 9:47 p.m. Everyone important had already left. No one would know, if he just walked away. He didn't. "Show me," he said. They stayed all night, cross-checking, recalculating, digging. But this time, they couldn't find it alone. The numbers didn't make sense. The system logs were incomplete. Something was missing. "I'm telling you, I didn't touch that section," Olivia said, near tears. James exhaled slowly, then made a decision. He picked up his phone. "I know someone," he said. "Someone?" "A former colleague, tech guy, knows the system better than anyone." Minutes later, James was outside in the rain, pacing as the call connected. "Daniel, I need your help." On the other end, silence. Then a tired voice. James? At this hour? It's serious. An hour later, Daniel arrived. Hoodie soaked, laptop in hand, no questions, just action. They worked together, quiet, focused, intense, fingers moving fast, screens glowing in the dark office. Time slipped, pressure built. Then suddenly, Daniel leaned back. I found it. Both of them turned. It's a hidden override, Daniel said. Senior level access. Someone altered the numbers after submission. Olivia's breath caught. So, it wasn't me? James shook his head. No, it wasn't. Relief flooded her face, but it didn't last long. Because the next morning, everything changed. The office was tense, whispers, closed doors, sharp looks. Olivia was called in. Then James. Inside the conference room sat the executives, cold, controlled, unimpressed. We've reviewed the report, one of them said, and we understand you've been interfering. James frowned. I was helping correct. You accessed restricted data, another cut in, and involved an external party. Silence, heavy, dangerous. James glanced at Olivia. Her eyes were wide, terrified. It wasn't her fault, James said firmly. The error came from a senior override. We have proof. That's enough. The words landed like a hammer. You had a promising career here, James, the first executive said, but you made a choice. And just like that, it was over. 3 months. Gone. Back to the present. James sat in his apartment, the termination email still open, unanswered, unreal. He laughed once, short, bitter. Helping people, he muttered. What a joke. Days passed, then weeks. No job. Savings shrinking. Calls unanswered. Applications rejected. Until one afternoon. A knock came. James opened the door and froze. Olivia stood there, but she looked different, stronger, confident, alive. You look terrible, she said. He blinked. Nice to see you too. She smiled, just a little. Can I come in? He stepped aside, still confused, still tired. She walked in, looked around, took a deep breath. I've been looking for you. Why? She turned to him, eyes steady, certain. Because I owe you everything. He shook his head. You don't owe me anything. I do. She reached into her bag, pulled out a folder, placed it on the table. James hesitated, then opened it. His eyes widened. It wasn't just papers. It was a proposal, a business plan, a contract. I started my own firm, she said quietly. Small at first, but it's growing. Fast. He looked up, still processing. I didn't do it alone, she added. The person who helped us that night, Daniel, he believed in me, invested, guided me. James blinked. I need someone I trust, she continued. Someone who does the right thing, even when it costs them everything. Silence filled the room. I want you to be my partner. James laughed, not because it was funny, because it felt impossible. I can't even get a job, he said. Exactly, she replied, because you're not meant to work for people like them. He stared at her, at the certainty in her voice, at the belief in her eyes. Take the risk, she said softly. You already lost everything. What else is there to be afraid of? That night, James didn't sleep. He thought about the chase, the rain, the long night in the office, the moment he chose to help, instead of walking away. He thought about Daniel showing up without hesitation. He thought about losing everything and what it gave him in return. At sunrise, he made his decision. Yes. One word. That changed everything. Months later, the company that fired him became their client. Life has a strange way of balancing things. Sometimes, you lose everything doing the right thing. But if you're patient enough, life gives it back. Not the same way, not the same people, but better. Because in the end, character pays, even when the world pretends it doesn't. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this page. If you enjoyed it, kindly leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Your support truly helps make more stories like this.